the world, including, you might remember, a musical road and sand dunes that sound like a tuba. Afterwards, we wondered what our listeners' favourite sounds might be. And we were sent hundreds. For months, we finished each programme with one of those sounds. Next Wednesday, some of those listener sounds will feature at the BBC Proms. Award-winning composer Tom Harrell has created a soundscape with them as part of his original score. It'll have its world premiere at the Proms. You will hear the whole thing live on PM that night. So between now and next Wednesday, we're going to listen again to some of the sounds just before Big Ben. The one you'll hear tonight is that of a jet engine, and in a moment we'll tell you much more about that. So look, this jet engine sound that we played months ago and we'll feature again tonight, it was sent to us by a listener called Tony Bennett, no relation. As we told you when we first broadcast the sound, Tony and his friend Paul Flynn are part of a dedicated group in Lincolnshire that's been painstakingly renovating an ex-RAF jet plane. And when I say renovating, when they first got their hands on it, it was essentially a shell.
Brakes on, control locks off, port tank reading 280, starboard tank reading 300. So master switch is on.
Chris Valance reports.
This is the sound of a Rolls-Royce Viator engine with 4,000 pounds of thrust. Music to my ears.
Well, that was Paul Flynn, and that was the sound of Paul Flynn's other car. It's a Jet Provost, a pilot training plane built in the 1960s. Just going through its paces at Metheringham Airfield. Lancaster bombers used to fly from here in days gone past. This plane, the Jet Provost, has been lovingly restored by a team of 10 volunteers, and Paul Flynn gave me a tour.
I found it back in 2004 in a scrapyard in Ipswich. Bought it for £400 and moved it here to Metheringham, where we started the work.
Yeah, you also had to find an engine for this plane, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We managed to find another scrapyard that had several of them. But in actual fact, the engine has never given us a moment's trouble. Okay.
So, well, let's talk to the pilots. John Temple. Do you mind if I ask you what that was like?
It is brilliant. It's enormous fun, and the feel of sitting in the seat, it is quite exciting.
Can we have a look in the cockpit? What must I absolutely not press? Anything. This is beautiful. I mean, this is dials and switches from another era.
Yeah, it's quite a daunting sight, isn't it? You get the feeling that you're sat in something that was built from a different generation.
Oh, and you had a little can of WD-40 there as well.
That's a modern touch. As anybody who is over 50 would recognise, things do start to seize up.
Well, it's a pretty windy day. You may be able to hear the wind rushing through the leaves in the trees. I'm just going into a little green painted hut next to the airfield to meet some of the other members of the team. This is the team headquarters.
This is Ralph Kirk.
Hi Ralph, nice to meet you.
Yeah. Ralph's one of our longest serving crew members. This is Tony Bennett.
Hi Tony.
I don't sing.
And you're the chap who thought of sending the sound into PM.
Well, why not? I mean, you know, it's a fantastic sound. These guys have put their all into it. And they're a great bunch.
And you've had quite a bit of press coverage. You've got some of the local papers here.
That's right. Two local newspapers. They've got the widest circulation in Lincolnshire. Both became really interested in our story. And we've got half-page spreads in both of those papers this week.
Now, sadly, although it looks like it's just itching to launch itself skyward, it's not going to fly, is it?
We knew when we started the project it wasn't going to fly. And we have very strict regulations in the UK which prevent us ever getting to that stage.
I'll come around a bit. Oh,
yeah.
So the aircraft is just being moved. That's the sound of the trolley. I'm going to use a highly technical term, the pusher thing, being connected to the front.
There is no real technical name for it.
Shall I push as well?
Absolutely.
It won't
Feel
hurt,
free.
will
No,
it?
you can't hurt anything.
Right.
Okay, guys.
say when.
Okay, go.
Here we are. Another day in journalism, wheeling a plane back across the runway. So the sound that we heard at the start, I sound very like it. It's going to be in the proms.
Yes.
Are you excited by that?
We're absolutely completely exhilarated by the whole experience. We're all dyed-in-the-wool engineers, really, and to have this kind of musical aspect brought into the project is nothing short of astounding as far as we're concerned.
A nice way to crown 10 years of work.
Absolutely. We think this will be the, as you say, the crowning moment, really, for many of us. But we don't really see it getting any better than this.
Chris Valence reporting. More of that sound. So between now and next Wednesday, when some of our listeners' sounds will feature at the BBC Proms, we're going to hear from them again. Here's the sound of that jet, restored by Tony and Paul and others.